The story begins by showing a kingdom, a man calling the name of a woman named Katarina. He wants to know whether Katarina knows that the Tillman castle towering in the distance has never been conquered by any enemy for the past 200 years, Katarina mentioning the name of a man named Simon. She was surprised by Simon, who suddenly said that Katarina told Simon to leave because they were inappropriate here. While pulling Katarina's hand, Simon said it's okay because according to him, no one would come at this time. Katarina told Simon,
I still need to complete my cleanup task.
Simon asked Katarina not to be nervous because he promised that this was only briefly. Simon said that he wanted to show the view of this place to him. He said that the scenery was very beautiful now. Katarina did not care about it because for him the place was only the territory of the nobles. While scratching his face with his finger, Simon told Katarina that he could actually buy a house in that place. Simon said that because he felt that he would soon be promoted to intermediate mage, he said that he wrote the thesis about the latest golem, and his seniors liked his writing. Simon said that the seniors told him that there was an elder who admitted his writing, so he will be promoted. He said that he could not buy a large house, but Simon said that at least the house could both live. Shortly after Simon asked Katarina to marry her, she was surprised and Katarina's face turned red. Holding Katarina's hand, Simon said,
You suffered a lot for my sake this whole time. Starting now, I'll make you the happiest person in the world.
Hearing that Katarina could not say anything, but Katarina answered. She told Simon that before he said that, she felt that Simon had to be an intermediate mage first. Hearing Katarina's answer made Simon surprised. He asked Katarina to, Not like that. Katarina laughed. She said that she was just joking while looking at the beauty of the kingdom. Katarina saying,
I was not expecting that. Such a day will come for us too.
Simon thought that they could live happily. But when he was in the kingdom to show his thesis, someone said that a technique thesis that uses goals is a genius idea. But instead, assessing that Elder's thesis will change the world, Simon feels that he has really tried to happiness with Katarina. Elder said that he excessively praised him. The person who was talking to him was Duke. Elder said that everything he had achieved thanks to the investment of Duke to him who never stopped. Duke said that Elder continued to produce results like this. He would add investment. Hearing that makes Simon very furious. He thinks he can be happy with Katarina. He has worked hard throughout his life, but nothing will change. He can only see Duke and Elder talking about his thesis stolen by Elder. Duke smiled. He wanted to know whether Elder had carried out his request at that time. Elder said that he had not forgotten it. Elder asks Duke if he has not a problem with the request, because she is just a lowly woman. When Simon heard his footsteps looking back, when he saw the back, he saw Katarina being captured by the soldiers with a bruised face, black under his eyes, and the trembling body. She said the name Simon. Simon saw him with a sharp gaze, He is confused why Katarina is here with such conditions. Katarina was forcibly taken by soldiers before Duke. He has lost his thesis and now they have trampled Katarina and himself. Duke said that he hears Katarina with beautiful. He feels that this is, according to his expert, very different. All of Simon's dreams they have seized. Angry Simon said,
Everything I want to protect desperately.
Simon starts using his magic. Simon shouted at Elder and Duke. Hearing that Duke and Elder looked at Simon while taking out Simon's magic ball said,
How dare you destroy everything lightly like that?
Simon jumped and mobilized everything to kill them. He also called them a bastard and told him to release Katarina. Angry Elder called Simon a boy. While he used magic from his hand, he said that Simon was unaware of his position. He considers Simon is just garbage and useless. Elder began to issue his lightning and hit Simon. Because of the effect of his attack glasses Simon to cracked, he was hit by an attack from Elder right in his stomach. Seeing the incident made Katarina cry and shout as fast as he could. Simon was hit by the attack and felt pain. Simon stretched out his hand. He could only see Katarina captured by them. Katarina began to shout and say her name. Simon began to fall and fainted. A few moments later showed Simon in prison along with mice. The mice were around Simon and sniffed him, with an eye without hope. Taking one of the mice for more than a month seemed there as evidenced by a marker written by Simon. He is confused about how to live. While he is holding the mouse, there is a spear that pierces his body. When the guards see that they consider Simon to be trying to eat the mouse, one of the guards feels happy because at least Simon can clean. This place is for them, the guard tells his friend to let him. He feels that the mage of the White Tower is also helpless while in this place. The guard ordered Simon to express everything to them. The guard said that Simon would help them call the golem. They said they would free Simon. One of the guards asked, Is Simon to hear that? Another guard says that Seaman is crazy after Katerina's death. Seaman released the rat that he arrested, one of the confused guards why the woman could die. The other guard answered that she committed suicide after saying that she would keep her virginity. The guard was very sorry. He felt that Katerina was very beautiful. He died like that. He regretted that, hearing that Simon began to point his fingers at his mouth. He bit his finger, which made his fingers bleed. He apologized to Katerina for not being able to protect him. The mice were in front of the guards. The guards were confused with the rats there, like waiting for something. One of the guards was surprised. He felt there was something strange. One of the guards is confused about what is strange because he feels something strange. One of the guards starts trying to stab one of the mice. It turned out that the rat that was stabbed was marked by magic. The sign began to shine, and as if to explode, one of the guards was surprised by the sign in the mouse. Seaman felt he was too weak. He began to carve a sign with his blood. Seaman began to make a sign for gave rise to something. One of the guards told Seaman to stop his actions right now. Seaman, who heard the guard, told him to stop. Saying that he just started it, Seaman holds the magic sign that he has made. The mice that have been marked by him began to be controlled by Seaman without shaking. Seaman assumed that if he was a little stronger, he would definitely save Katerina and not lose himself. Seaman finished his ritual with Mouses, who was in the sign that he made to strengthen his magic. The sign exploded and destroyed the cells occupied by Seaman. From that sign appeared a golem. Seaman looked back and began to see the golem he made. When he saw the guards, he felt that the expression would be on Katerina's face when he saw his golem. The guards who saw Seaman's golem unable to say anything, surprised by what they were seeing. Golem that is as shaped as rats and starts to roar those who make them die. Seaman has a reason why he still wants to live. The mouse golem starts to destroy the exit of the underground guard. Seaman said that the reason still wants to live is because he wants to avenge his revenge for this heinous world, which prevents his happy and Katerina life. The guards and soldiers who were there all died because of Seaman's mouse golem. He asked Katerina not to worry, because he had stopped being a weak person. He would take all the forces he could take. With sadness, he promised that he would change everything. Seaman begins to emerge from underground up to meet Elder and Duke. Elder, who saw golem made by Seaman, said that he was a bastard. Elder said that Seaman was crazy because he had used black magic. He was confused with someone who served a god who was now working with the demon. With a sharp look, know the reason, Duke asked for forgiveness to him, Seaman. He promised to make Seaman a leader in this place. And if Seaman forgive him, he promised to do anything that Seaman wanted. Seaman asked about whatever he wanted. He started to make a magic sign from his palm, but Seaman knew that Duke could not raise the dead person. Seaman promised that he would destroying this damned world for Katerina. In another place, a hero is in front of the king. The king mentioned the name of the hero named is Koan. The king asked the hero to save the world that had been hit by the darkness. The demon king troops who had been controlled by the darkness had trampled the land of the gods and slaughtered the innocent people. The heinous forces had destroyed 2 kingdoms and 1 duke. And the destiny of this world will be determined by the hero. The king begged the hero of Lacan to kill the demon king and save this world. The hero began to start lifting his sword slowly. He raised his sword to call the soldiers as a brave soldier of the great Artenia Empire. Hero Lacan said that their imperial light had lost his strength, and the giant shadow had entered the Lodasia continent. Hero Lakakan told them not to be afraid for their families and for the destiny of this world. Today the hero is that they ask them to kill Demon King together and be the last hope to protect this world. Hearing a speech from the hero of Lacan made all the soldiers cheering. In the past, when Katerina was still alive, Katerina asked,
Seaman, did you hear the news? How do you make sense to cut off a child's hands just for stealing some bread?
Seaman asks Katerina not to speak loudly, because if anyone hears it, she will get trouble. Katerina does not care about she not accepting the nobles who can give severe punishment that is as easy as that, no need to worry about starving. She feels confused by a child who was punished that heavy, just because he was born in a low social class. Seaman, who heard him, felt sad. Katerina said that she and the others born in this position were not for their will. Seaman was concerned about Katerina. Seaman said it might come one day, where social classes would not be questioned again, and everyone lived equally and freely. Katerina, calling his name, she said that such a day would not come if they just waited. Seaman, who feels confused, asks what Katerina wants. Katerina answered that they both had to be agents of change they wanted to see in the world, and if not so, the children they will be enlarged later will go through the same thing. Hear the words. Katerina Simon was surprised and dropped the books he was carrying. Simon was surprised by the words of Katerina, who said the children they were going to raise. Even though they were not married, seeing Simon Katerina's behavior was confused, because according to him it was not the important message. And also Katerina considered Simon to marry him in the end. Hearing the words of Katerina, Simon became even more ashamed. While taking the book he had dropped, Simon said that he did know that, but he did not feel ready. Katerina, who heard Simon's words that were not sure to know whether the answer was yes or not, Simon answered that the answer was of course yes, when Simon was about to stand up after taking the book he dropped. Katerina said Simon was a severe person. Simon heard it and looked at him. Katerina helped lower her body. She said that Simon was very shy. Katerina teased him by saying,
I'm probably the only person who would marry you, huh?
Returning to this time where Simon has become the king of the devil and is in front of his kingdom, Simon said the name Katerina. He said that soon everything would end. Simon said that if it took a long time for him to make it happen, but the world he and Katerina. Displaying Simon to come true, the soldiers began to advance neatly towards Simon. With a face without a tent and ready to sacrifice everything for the safety of the world, they began to advance. The hero who led the soldiers called Simon as Demon King. He said that the whole world had been filled with torture for his actions, but the hero would intend to ending everything today. He swore on behalf of the gods, and justice of all Simon's sins will be judged today. Hearing that Simon smiled broadly and started laughing, Simon raised his hand and began to laugh. Simon laughs at him because of the hero who wants to judge him with gods and justice, and only two things, with all his abilities. Simon the Demon King said that it is impossible. He considers that the hero hopes he will be afraid of fake gods and hypocritical justice belonging to hero Lacan. The hero was screaming that he would definitely judge him because thousands of royal heroes stood here with him to give punishment for the act of Simon. To hear the words of the hero, the soldiers began to cheer. The hero would say that he and the soldiers intend to kill Demon King today. They began to attack Simon. He said that today they will protect this world. Pre-soldiers start shouting forward and attacking Simon. Simon lifted his stick and used his magic. He wanted to know who they wanted to judge him when the soldiers almost hit him with a sharp look. Simon said that he would judge them. Simon formed a magic sign. He said that the time he was. The loss of Katerina is when justice also dies. The soldiers and themselves stop moving. Simon said that he did not trust illusions at all like justice. Simon would show one thing. He believed the soldiers who were in Simon's magic circle could not move and could only see what would happen. Simon began to issue a golem with his magic that sacrificed the soldiers around him. He said that Yang he believed was only power. Golem that emerged from his summon magic began to shout. The hero would hold back the effect of the golem's shout while the soldiers behind him felt pain. Simon smiled. He told Hero to see this, because this was the day where true justice was born, far from trickery, justice the mushroom, and today marked the beginning of a new era. Simon began to bring up the more and more golem around it. One of the golem began to raise his hand, and it made the soldiers scared. One of the soldiers was frightened because Simon was calling so much golem. One of the soldiers calmed him and told him not to be afraid, because there would be no future if they succumbed now. Simon mentioned the soldiers as a fool. Simon said,
You're nothing but garbage. You have nothing more than your social status to cling to. How you try resist again real power?
Simon, who was in the hands of one of the golems, said that this was all over and he would kill them all. The hero began to get ready to jump while calling the name of Demon King Simon. He began to start his sword and used that Simon's sin won't be able to. Forgiven, Hero said to attack one of Golem's hands, said he would end all his crime right now. Simon was surprised by the hero who managed to beat his Golem elite with just one attack. Now Simon knows the reason why he can't take over the kingdom of Livia no matter how much Golem has sent. The reason is because he heroes, with he's face calling the name of Hero Lacan, with an angry face of Hero Lacan also called the name of Demon King Simon. They both said and told to die here. Simon's golem began to head towards the Lacan hero, but the hero had succeeded in defeating him easily. Sometime after the Lacan hero managed to defeat all the golem, but all the soldiers who were with him had died, until where the Lacan hero had reached the Simon-made golem. Finally, the hero was fatigued, because although he easily beat all of Simon's goals, but too much golem that he had to beat who made him tired, Hero would intend to end all this. He called the name of Demon King Simon, and Simon's golem began to be damaged. The hero was destroyed. The last golem owned by Simon, Simon called the name of the hero. The hero's side still looks exhausted after everything he does. The seaman that will be beheaded by the hero asked him what made the hero would stop stopping his attack, and asked what he wanted to say for the last time. Seaman said that the world was rotten. Seaman began to cry. He said, "If not because of it." Seaman stopped his words for a while and began to stare sharply. He wanted to start a new sheet after destroying everything. Seaman said that he cursed him. Seaman said that all his descendants would spend their whole life in pain. Hero would start tightening his hand. He cut the head of Demon King Seaman, making Seaman's sad water into blood. Seaman remembered her past again. When Katerina told Seaman, she held Seaman's face, said that when he smiled like this and was beside him healthy without any big problems, is a time when she feels the happiest. Katerina starts on tiptoe. She kisses Seaman intimately. The words Katerina said at that time were,
I love you, Seaman.
After remembering her memories with Katerina, Seaman began to wake up. He sat on the bed, holding her neck. He wondered whether it was a dream, because he knew that his head was still around his neck. Seaman rubbed his head to feel a bit dizzy. When he looked into his hand, not. There was a wound. He was confused what really happened. Seaman began to turn to the right and to the left. He was confused where he was now. He felt he had never seen this room before. He wondered if he was in a foreign country. He was confused about how he could still be alive. He knew that black magic could not revive the dead, because if it could be done, he would have done it. Since a long time ago, he wondered how he could still breathe, see something, and start looking up. When he saw a painting, he was surprised. He was surprised by the hero painting he called the bastard here. At that moment, there was someone who opened the door and called him a young master. That person was surprised by his young master who finally woke up. He hugged Seaman and grateful. He said that if I begged not to wake up for 2 weeks, he thought they would lose the last. Seaman is confused. What does it mean to call him a young master and who he really is? Hearing that makes the person surprised. With trembling, he asked his young master if he did not know him. He assumed that the accident had made his young master lose memory. He felt that it was all his fault is because he didn't take care of him, hearing him saying nothing. With sadness, that person understands him and will say everything to him. He feels that this is only temporary. And he is also sure that his young master will remember after he told everything. The person said that he would soon be the host of this place and himself is a descendant of the Viscounty of the Baroque Kingdom and is also a descendant of the great hero Lacon, and his name is Luc de Lacon. Hearing that, Seaman becomes surprised.